check out the Western Conference standings because I know all y'all care about basketball. As the Warriors are 3 games back of the Phoenix Suns in the loss column. 8th place right now in the Western Conference, 22-19. Not great, right? Some will say average, mediocre. Well, that's what Jimmy Butler said the other night, as he was brutally honest on where the Warriors stand right now in the standings.
How would you assess just where y'all are at the halfway point of the season?
Mediocre.
What needs to change?
We need to win more games, lose less games. That's just where we are. And I think it's the worst place to be, is to be mediocre, because yes, it can go either way, but nobody wants to be just average. Nobody wants to be average.
Nobody wants to be average.
Only in school, right? The C's get degrees.
Absolutely not. I'm in a Nigerian household, bro.
I know.
Get kicked out the house.
I know KB was a straight A student.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, listen, nobody wants to be average, and that's where the Warriors are at, KB, as we've seen them try to get over the hump and get to 4 games over 500. They were 4-1 to start the season, and it's just been up and down, up and down. So now with the waypoint, we're at the midway point right now, 41 down, 41 to go. Now's the time to stack wins as we talk about this homestand and, of course, this road trip coming up. Now is the time so you're not playing playoff games in the month of February like they did last season.
It was exciting to watch what Jimmy Butler could do when he got here, but they don't want it to be playoff games after All-Star break. No, they need to ease into it. They need to find what they have right now. You guys think it's interesting that Jimmy Butler has been so honest and so direct here, too? Mediocre. Most people were choosing friendlier words. Average, mid, mediocre.
Jimmy Butler's always
That's
direct.
exactly what I mean. But also, as the newest star on the team, he doesn't have to be, or maybe doesn't want to be as diplomatic as some other guys. So when this is coming out that we are mediocre right now, an acknowledgement that they are 8th, an acknowledgement that they're a play-in team right now, does it remind you of last season too, when Steph was getting those questions and he was saying, if you think any of us, especially him, is satisfied where we are at, you're crazy. Nobody wants to be in this situation. Nobody wants those hopeful swings of, oh, we got 3 wins. Oh, we just took a bad loss. That space right there, that little bit of hope, and then, man, we stink in some ways with the turnovers or poor shooting. You can see that some of the roster construction and some of the things that they've been doing this season just aren't good enough. And that's hard when you've got Steph Curry on your team.
Jimmy Butler's comments are a signal, I feel, to the front office.
Okay.
It kind of ramps up the urgency around the JK situation. If we are contenders, let's make a decision. Let's figure this out so that we can move in the right direction. And with Jimmy showing up last season, you got to see the Warriors make a run towards the end. They've been trying to find a run like that, something they can hold on to. That's at the end of the year last year with a 23-8 run. That's what you saw last year, and you felt like they can make a run in the playoffs with that. But they ran out of gas.
Yeah.
That's not what you want this year. But right now, with the Warriors playing up and down like they have been, whether it's struggling to finish games, being up in the 4th quarter, having experienced veterans, that in itself should be a sign that veterans should be able to finish those games in those tough situations. I've seen times when the Warriors have not played to their best. So Jimmy's saying we could be better, we should be better, and nobody wants to be average.
Yeah, Jimmy wants his first ring. That's a very serious thing as a player faces the twilight of his career. Steph and Draymond want their 5th. They look at each other and say, what we have now is special. How can we capitalize on that? And maybe that is a message.
Well, the elephant in the room is Jonathan Kuminga and what's happening around the 5th-year pro from the G League, Ignite. We see him walk in on the day he basically asked for a trade. I don't know if I want to say demanding, but we all knew if you're living in the Bay Area and follow the Golden State Warriors, this was brewing a long, long time ago. He was a restricted free agent, but today is the first day he's eligible to be traded. And with that said, we go down to Chase Center, courtesy of Comcast Business. Every connection counts with Warriors insider, 2-time Emmy Award-winning
Monty!
Monty pulled his Fezzy Fails back. And, of course, we have Petaluma's finest, Dalton Johnson, on the scene there at Chase Center. Monty, I'll start with you. Today's the day we've had circled on our calendar. What is the latest with Jonathan Kuminga?
Yeah, it has been 199 days that Jonathan Kuminga has been on the open market, from restricted free agency to signing a contract with the Warriors till today. January 15th, he is eligible for a trade. He wants out. The Warriors want to trade him. Nothing has happened yet, but Dalton Johnson has been all over this story. So, Dalton, What's the latest from what you get today?
The latest to me, Monty, is the same that it's always been, that it's clear that both of these sides need a split. It's the best move forward. The word demand is simply just a word. It's a technicality since he can technically become trade eligible starting today. It's a word that now Jonathan Kuminga and his camp can now use. The trade demand. But we've already seen the writing on the wall. This has been a months-long, a years-long misalignment from top to bottom when it comes to Jonathan Kuminga and what is best for him and for the Warriors. Nothing in my eyes has truly changed as far as that goes. I've been told that multiple teams have varying degrees in interest when it comes to Jonathan Kuminga. Different likeness when it comes to Jonathan Kuminga. Does that mean multiple suitors? Not right now, not from anything that I have gathered, Monty, but things change quickly in the NBA. Did we think Jimmy Butler was going to be on the Warriors last season on the trade deadline? No, we did not.
Right.
And then they changed really, really quickly. So now that we are at January 15th, I do think that things are going to become a lot more clear just how much can change in this 3-week window, Monty.
Yeah, you got 3 weeks to make a deal, or otherwise Jonathan Kuminga is on this roster for the next of this season, and nobody on the Warriors wants that. Jonathan Kuminga definitely doesn't want that. So, but that may be the way things turn out if they don't make a deal here in the next 21 days.
We shall see as this continues to be interesting with Jonathan Kuminga. We're going to discuss when he plays 30 minutes a game, and we'll come back to you guys a little bit later in the program, the timeline for Jonathan Kuminga. Look, it's been inconsistent, right? Missed 31 consecutive games a season ago with an ankle injury. But then he came on the scene in the second round of the playoffs and balled out against Minnesota. Of course, we know what happened this past summer where he signed a 2-year, $48.5 million extension with the team option for the second year, but he was a restricted free agent. And that can get tricky. That's basically an organization telling you, hey, go test the waters, see what you can find out there. So it's been a roller coaster ride over the last 4.5 years with Jonathan Kuminga, but there's been a lot of good with JK, Fezzi.
Well, what I've seen so far with JK's journey with the Warriors is a question of fit versus talent. Steve Kerr's priorities have been ball sharing, ball handling, ball security, and all those things are important. Obviously, you're playing in a system with Steph Curry. Steph is the head of the monster, and that's Steph playing at the level that he is makes the Warriors feel like they're a contending team every time. So trying to develop young talent hasn't really been the priority for this team. JK, on the other hand, brings something to the table that nobody on the roster has. An athleticism where he can slide his feet, lateral quickness and movement, ability to run. He is one of the fastest people getting down the court on the team. In transition, he can score. One-on-one, he can score. He can rebound and sky over big men. You've seen him. You see me yelling Eric Congo every game whenever he's in the game. These are things that they just have not been able to really cater to and find a way to develop Jonathan Kuminga. As a young man in this league, he has talent beyond this world, but if the Warriors cannot use him, he's saying, I want to take my talents elsewhere.
Well, this is what's maddening, KB. When he does get 30 minutes per game, the numbers back him up, 20 a game. The field goal percentage is there, the three-point percentage is there, but that's been the problem. He's only had 46 games in which he's played 30-plus minutes in a basketball game. The minutes just haven't been there for him.
Well, and one of the reasons we keep going back to that Minnesota series is Steph was injured, which means Jonathan could have the ball in his hands more. That's how he likes to play. That's where his skill set comes out. That's where you see him attacking. He can go one-on-one here, back some guys down. Do you remember when he dunked on it? Remember when he dunked on Gobert?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he loves having the ball in his hands there. But he did have a game with 0 rebounds. His assists weren't great there. 6 assists, 10 turnovers. Actually, I think one of the stars of that series when you really look at it. And you know what? I do want to give Kuminga for being the Warriors' leading scorer in that series. He really did his part. But also Jimmy Butler did his part too. 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Jimmy played more than 40 minutes per game in that series with a broken butt. Do you remember? I mean, we always end up talking about Jonathan Kuminga, but what is really important is the guys around him, and Steph was not in that series. We have to remember that at the heart of all of this, as we talk about JK, is Steph Curry. What do the Warriors owe Steph Curry right now? And if Jonathan Kuminga just doesn't fit, this is where they have to move off. Because I keep coming back to that word demand as well. He demands a trade. Well, that's his agent putting pressure on this. That's his agent saying, we've known this breakup is coming for a long time. Get it done. Who is interested in helping the Warriors get better? Let's put that question out there. When everybody knows
Nobody.
that the Warriors want to trade Jonathan Kuminga, who's going to line up to help them in the next 48 hours, this is not, I worry, frankly, that this is not going to be quick, because the longer other teams wait, the more desperate the Warriors get to make a deal. And like I said, who's in a hurry?
You think he's on this roster after February 5th? And could you imagine that if he is on this roster after the trade deadline, Fezzi?
Well, you guys are looking from the team perspective. I'm looking from JK's perspective.
Yeah.
As a young player, 23 years old, he got to the Warriors at age 19? With all
18.
the talent,
He was 18.
18 years old, with all the talent in the world, ability to score. His improvement, you haven't seen that improvement because you haven't seen consistent time on the floor. And this idea of the two timeline of the older veterans being able to still being contenders is really hampered these young guys on this team. JK has been the biggest guy to be affected by that. So what I want to see from JK, his ability to go to another team, he just wants to be on the court. You cannot get better at basketball without playing basketball. You got to be on the court. JK is so far beyond the bench. I think he's under the bench at this point. Like, he has not played in 13 games. If that is the case, his agent has to put pressure. If you can't use me, somebody else can.
And I think that's been the biggest misnomer. It's not that he wants to be great. He wants to help a team win basketball games. Let me play, because when he has gotten that sample size, he's produced for the Golden State Warriors. But we'll have more on Jonathan Kuminga